Riveting content. Empowering your life. Welcome to the Sphere. This episode is sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. For more information on increasing your cash flow, becoming your own money manager, and to schedule your complimentary personal finance strategy, contact the Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463. Looking to advertise? Join the Sphere's vast demographic reach of thousands of people all over the world. Send an email today to advertise@thesphere.tv or call us at area code 832-772-7789. 3 Hues Painting Studio. Come paint, sip, and party at 3 Hues. Visit our website today at 3hueshouston.com.
Well, hello. Welcome to the Docs on the Sphere TV. I am Dr. Ashandra Batiste. I am a dentist, and I am the owner of Elite Dental Wellness. You can find me on Facebook and Twitter as Ashandra Batiste, and on Instagram at hotdoc.com. You guys know that the Docs is here to educate, inform, and empower us on health and wellness topics for what we're going through today and maybe what some of our friends and family go through. So we are welcome you back, and if to our first timers, thanks for joining us. Of course, my wonderful co-host is who she's never here.
I felt the shade coming on before it started. It was like a little warm.
You're broadcasting from an airport.
I am in an airport. This is how committed I am to the Doc show. I'm in the bathroom, actually, taping this. But hey, guys, I'm excited to be back again, of course. My name is Dr. Simone Ellis, also a dentist. You can find me on all my social media handles at Facebook, Simone Ellis, Instagram, Dr. Simone Ellis, and of course my practice, Smile Design Studios, on Highway 6 and 1092 in Missouri City. And, you know, I love Dr. Batiste, and she continually throws shade about how I can't stay in Houston, but I love her all the same. So, yes, I flew into Chicago last night, and I'm flying out to go to Kansas like in an hour. So that's how crazy this weekend is about to be.
Yeah, like she's gonna be hopping on a plane as soon as we're done with this. So if y'all see her, just give her a nice back rub. She may need a drink because this is
like, and because of Dr. Batiste as well as Gary's, information, I'm hungry also, because if you watched last week's show, we went over what the health. I finally watched it, and I have been a vegetarian for day 5. This is day 5. So not only do I need a hug, I need some French fries that are vegan.
French fries are vegan. I keep trying to tell you this.
They are. So,
the world thanks you for joining us today from an airport bathroom. Thank you, Dr. Simone.
This is how great Docs is, but this is how great the Sphere Network is, right? Like, we just are committed beyond belief. So that's what you're getting when you're subscribing to the Docs, right?
Dr. Simone, broadcasting live from a bathroom. So we do today have a guest host that's actually in the building. She lives in Houston, and I've known her for, at least 7 years, minimum, maybe 6. Anyway, long time. I've known her a long time. This is Alaina Lopez. She is a licensed professional counselor. She owns Heart to Heart Services in Richmond, Texas. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell the world who you are and what you do and all that good stuff.
Okay, well, I'm Alaina Lopez. I'm owner of Heart to Heart Counseling Services located in Richmond, Texas. I've been in private practice for 10 years. 6 years I was located in Sugarland, so we went on ahead and moved to Richmond. But in conjunction with being having a private practice in Richmond, we also do on-site services. So we do provide services at homes, we provide services at schools, churches, or wherever we're needed. The purpose of the home services are because that's one of the major concerns with mental health is that people can't make it to the office. Everyone has a hectic schedule. Everyone has something to do. Children, adolescents have activities after school. Well, I have 5 additional dynamic therapists that work along with me, and they do the home visits in Fort Bend, Fort Bend, Southwest Houston, and Brazoria County.
Perfect, perfect. So people can definitely reach you at Heart to Heart Services.
Yes, our website is hearttoheartservices.org or Alaina on Instagram at Alaina Heart to Heart.
Perfect. So, of course, we are very committed on the docs to talk about things that affect everyone. And part of the discussion that we like to have is things that discuss directly mental health and wellness. Because we do believe in African American community, minority communities, that it is something that tends to be kind of neglected or the stigma is still there. And today specifically, because we're going back to school,
Yes.
we're going to be dealing with some stuff about our young people. Adults are one thing, young people are another. And so that's going to be kind of where we focus our discussion with today, because for me, one thing that I have not yet watched, and I think you've heard about it for sure, Alaina, and Dr. Simone, she's heard about it but has not watched
Yeah.
it either, is 13 Reasons Why, the
Yes.
Netflix original series. All of the people under 25 in my office have watched this original series, and it drives me crazy. I cannot watch it for multiple reasons. One, the information that I got about it was so intense and so adult, and I have an 11-year-old. So I was like, I can't watch something that I feel like is too close to home. And these are high schoolers, and they're having sex and doing drugs and doing all these things. And of course, the young lady does commit suicide, and I mean, it's a mess of a
Well,
of a
for the
situation.
people who haven't seen it, tell us a little bit about, I mean, what is the movie? Because I kind of, like I said, I've heard about it, but I don't even know what it's about.
So the premise, from what I understand, is that there's a young lady. Okay, so and I don't know the names because I have not. I refuse to watch the series. But there's a young man who gets these tapes after his crush passes away via suicide, and so the tapes explain to him why she committed suicide. But they're like audio tapes, so he has to listen to them, and in the process he's hearing about sexual assault, he's hearing about drug use, he's hearing about boyfriends cheating. Like, it's all these things, and he had a crush and he never told her. So he's like
Right.
eating away
Okay.
at, maybe, like, if I would have just shown that I loved her, I cared about her, then maybe she wouldn't have committed suicide.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So I can see why somebody who has almost like your daughter is almost a teenager would find this a little bit difficult to watch.
To digest, right? So I avoid it like the plague. And there's, like I said, I'm living in my own denial, because according to Alaina, like, this is a very real situation.
Yes. Yes, and I don't want to age myself, but as a therapist and as a parent watching 13 Reasons Why, and just knowing that teenagers have to deal with social media. Once again, I don't want to age myself, but I mean, for us, it was exciting to have call waiting. Like, hold on, that's my friend. Hold on, because you were so excited to do that. But now you have social media. So on 13 Reasons, on the first episode, the young lady went to the park with a guy. He liked her. They were just having fun. She went down the slide and her dress kind of went up and you could see her underwear. He posted that to social media. So the next day, she went to school. Everybody in the school saw this picture. They were like, oh, Hannah, she's a slut. She's this, she's that. And from there, it was a downward spiral of how she reacted. Now, I don't know about you all, but if I saw that in like ninth grade, I would have been in my room all day long listening to "Don't Be Cruel," just crying.
Not Bobby
Sobbing.
Brown.
Yes, I'm like, "Don't be cruel," because I'd have been mortified. But this is every day. And like Dr. Baptiste said, these are things that we have to explain to our children that we can barely explain for ourselves. When we post a picture that we have control of posting on social media, it's for hopes that somebody likes it. We don't post a picture for dislikes. Like thumbs down.
Right. We don't want the
But
thumbs
we
down.
know how to process. There's someone watching us right now that's probably like thumbs down. But what can we do about it? There's nothing that we can do about it. This is the life that we live now. So now we just have to try to help our young ones guide their ways through this process.
Sure.
It's
So, I
crazy
mean,
that even when like in high school or middle school when we were growing up, and I age myself, I'm 34, so essentially internet was like not popular. Remember we had to dial up, like you had to dial into AOL, but if something went really bad, it wasn't across all the schools either. It was like localized to like one school or even one grade. Now with social media, people that aren't even in your actual school know about it. And that's what's crazy. Like in sixth grade, I got into this fight, and y'all already know I don't know how to fight. Like, do I even come off as somebody that would even know how to handle business? But it was a horrible sixth grade year. I was just like miserable because everybody in my class knew. I could not imagine what that would have been like if like the other schools would have known about it. And when I was a cheerleader going to those schools and they're making fun. And then old school parents, I don't know how y'all parents were, but my mom was like, you just get over that because people are bullies and they make fun of you and you man up and get over it. Now, how do you combat like not only your school, but like so many different grade levels? It's just too big. It's really different.
it is, and I think that that's something that I think that's intriguing for these people who are watching it, because like I said, everybody under the age of 25, 26 in my office have watched it. So all my staff, my team, they've watched it and they indulge it, they like it, and I think it's because they grew up in this age of social media,
Right.
and that's why they like it so much, because I mean they can relate to it more than I can. I cannot relate to it. I look at it and I'm like, this is all ridiculous. Now, I do
Right.
think I probably eventually need to watch it because I do think it may provide some sort of insight into what my daughter may be going through. She's starting middle school in a couple of weeks. So,
Do you
oh yeah, I
recommend
know.
that she watches it with
Fun.
her daughter?
Say that again.
Do you recommend that she watches it with her daughter, or do you feel like, I mean, you got a chance to, you said everybody is talking about it before we started, like it's almost like overkill. It's like probably like what is it, Frozen for little kids. So in that sense, do you feel like a parent should watch it with their kids?
Um, if a child shows interest, I say yes. Because it's definitely something that we cannot avoid. Suicide is the number 2 death for teens. So right now we're looking at that's the second leading cause
Wow.
of death for teenagers. So children are actively committing suicide on a daily basis, not on a weekly, monthly, whenever. A daily basis, I see children who are self-harming, overdosing on Benadryl, taking their parents' prescription medication, drinking bleach,
Oh,
Oh my
trying to
God. Are you
causing
serious?
car accidents, causing auto accidents. This is real life. This is not something I'm
wow.
making up that I actually hear on a daily basis. As a matter of fact, yesterday I had a new client come in, and from the symptoms that she told me, I said, it sounds like you have a little social anxiety. I said, well, do you have social anxiety? She was like, yes. I said, well, I'm going to be on a podcast tomorrow, so I want to share some of that information. I said, so what gives you social anxiety? And she was like, well, everybody, I don't fit in because everybody is tall, have big boobs, a big booty, and I just don't fit in, so I don't want to go to school anymore. I'm like, really?
And how old was
Wow.
she?
She was 13.
Wow, wow,
So
wow.
this is so it's
Yeah.
you can't sweep it under the rug. It has
No.
to be addressed.
No, it definitely does. So for now, this portion of the show is actually sponsored by Houston Housewives of Finance. Did you know that only 4 states in the United States offer financial education? 33% or more than 77 million of Americans don't pay their bills on time. 39% of Americans carry credit card debt from month to month, and 39% of adults say they don't have enough savings. Don't become one of these statistics. Let Houston Housewives of Finance advise you on increasing your cash flow and becoming your own money manager by scheduling your complimentary personal financial strategy. Contact Houston Housewives of Finance today at 1-844-700-4463 or email us at info@houstonhousewivesoffinance.com. Ask us how you can participate in a complimentary financial literacy workshop near you. Houston Housewives of Finance are the new faces of the new age of financial services. So, and thank you to Quell, Murray, Tyler. We appreciate your support. We also agree that this is an excellent topic because there is something about social anxiety that people don't talk about, and there are some celebrities out there that have come out and admitted to having social anxiety. And I think that, and I'm not saying that anybody's more justified than the next person. However, someone that's in the limelight does get critiqued more boldly. Meaning you put up a picture on Instagram as a celebrity and you get just as much love as you get hate.
Right, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that could be a piece of celebrities dealing with social anxiety.
Well, but we have a celebrity in our midst right now, and so tell me a little bit about, like, did you feel, that anxiety or social, I guess, awkwardness, when you were in front of the camera?
I will say that as far as the one thing that I can say is that I honestly never got the social anxiety in a way of being worried about criticism and critiques, because I knew, and maybe it's just because of the field we're in, Simone, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
We know that someone's going to love us or they're going to hate us. They're going to be able to find another
doctor. Every single day, if people, like, they come to us and say, I hate you. So I feel like that's okay. Like, I walk in and I'm like, that's fine.
Right. So I think we get trained.
Person outside of my office.
Right. So I think we get a little bit more training. I also think that I went into it with the proper mindset of, look, everyone's not going to like you. Be yourself and be okay with who you are and the material you put out there, because that's the only thing you can control. And because I am a control freak, I was like, those are the only things I can control, so I'm only going to control those things, right? And we, thank God, whatever hate we did get was minimal. And I think that people were very proud of the presentation that my husband and my family and I put up on TV as far as representation of Black
yes,
families.
You did a phenomenal job.
Yes, thank you.
It was really good.
Thank you.
Job.
And so
really
I think that the people who were hating were coming from a place of like, y'all are bougie, y'all are stuck up, y'all, and I'm like, whoa, everybody don't throw bottles at the club, like,
right.
I'm
fiscally responsible, so we don't have to do those things, right? So,
have bills.
Right, I got bills.
Throw money at.
Bills. And so I think that you're right. That I think that for me, it was a piece of kind of security, because I knew that I was putting out information that I can control. I think celebrities get a lot of pressure to be something. And I think in some cases, some of these celebrities, like you said, Beyonce took a hiatus, and Miley Cyrus has been very open about her social anxiety, Britney Spears. I think some of these situations, these celebrities have so much pressure to be something that maybe they're not, or they're tired of being.
Well, I think that's kind of what they need to have. I hope that they have some form of, like, class about that for celebrities, because you're basically putting on the mainstream what your talent is. So essentially, I kind of find it hard to believe that celebrities would not feel like they would encounter some form of criticism like that. But I think that, like you said, Beyonce did a really good job about taking off that whole year to kind of balance her out. Or Oprah, of course, has talked about her anxiety as well when she was taking The Butler. And I think that, having that troubleshoot to come in, and when you notice those symptoms coming up, what are you doing about that? But celebrities across the board, yes, but that's what they're paid to do, right? Like, we are looking at them to be performers, to be always on. And so I think that they have to be, there's some reality to that, that's what their job is, unfortunately.
Well, if Oprah can have social anxiety, then I can have social anxiety.
I
just feel
really, though,
whatever Oprah can do, I can do. Be like Oprah is what.
Or you might want to be like, well, if Oprah has social anxiety and she got all this stuff popping, maybe I really don't need that. Maybe I'm not on that level, so I need
to not have social anxiety. So let me figure this out.
Right, like my life is not Oprah life, right? That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
When I get all hyped up, maybe I'm not a Beyonce. Like in my heart, I want to be, but I'm all real people. I'm not. So.
You're not.
I'm not.
You're not taking hiatuses from work to deal with your social anxiety. So we are not like Oprah and Beyonce.
All of us as entrepreneurs. I mean, the reality is that if we get anxious or not, we got to show up to work to pay all of them bills. And even as doctors that are watching this show, I mean, when you don't show up to work, you can't treat your patients. You don't make any money. So I'm not Beyonce. I don't have like stacks of money like sitting away. I gotta work through this anxiety. So I'm super excited to hear. I mean, even for children, like what are some of the tools and things like that to basically combat all of that?
Absolutely.
That goes on.
Absolutely. And we're definitely going to be getting to children and discussing, identifying anxiety and the social anxiety in our children and our teens. And Alana's going to be talking to us about what she knows and her specialty and what she's seen. However, we are ending Facebook Live right now. We are so appreciative to everyone who's joined us, and we thank you so much, and we want you back. However, we do ask that if you want to continue hearing about this and maybe even listen to it with your children, that you subscribe to our show. You can subscribe to it on all the major platforms. You have iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher. If you subscribe to it, then you can listen to it at any time. And if you could, please review our show in iTunes. It would be nice to hear your constructive feedback. We are always taking ideas. We want to know who wants to come and sit with us and chat. We also want to talk about things that y'all want to hear about. So if you could review us, that would be great. Share this Facebook Live post and the entire show with your family and friends. Like I said, this is a very big topic. Alana's already said that suicide is the number 2 cause of death in teens. And clearly that means that we need to start having conversations with our children and our family and our friends. Donate to our mission, please. Pull out your checkbook. Jingle that coin purse. Coin purse. Y'all remember coin purses? To bring in rich and inspiring content to you guys each and every week. We would appreciate donations to be made at www.thesphere.tv/donate. So thank you again for everyone joining us on Facebook Live. We will see y'all next week. And subscribe.
And I'll be in town.
What? Round of applause. I'm gonna leave. Alrighty, so if you could help us with this, I would love to know, what is it that we're looking for in our children to identify this social anxiety? What is it that are some triggers or some red flags as a parent that you would suggest to your parents, your clients? Hey, like, I see something coming on. Has this happened? This. Like, what is it that we can look for to maybe preempt our children from kind of going off the deep end?
Okay, one of the first things is isolation. Isolation will probably be the first sign that something's not right. Often children like to remain in their rooms, stay on their phones. Social media has really caused an upscale of anxiety because you don't have to face reality. You can create your own life in social media, and also a lot of video games. You can pretend that you're someone else during this time, so you don't have to. And you can also have like 1,000 likes. You know, you can have 1,000 likes and you can be in your room saying different things that's necessarily not true. So social media, I would say, is number 1. Isolation, sadness, loss of interest in anything. If your child says, you say, let's play softball. I don't like softball. I don't like tennis. I don't like ballet. I don't like anything. That's a red flag, because your child should be interested in something. And as a parent, we could say, look, you're going to have to pick something. I don't care what it is. It could be basket weaving. As long as you pick something, I just want to make sure that you're engaged in something to occupy your mind, because an idle mind is like the devil's workshop.
Okay.
And then also clingy to their friends. If you find your children that all they want to do is be around their friends, and especially if it's friends that you don't really know much about, I would say that would be a red flag. Um, and we're going back to social media because this is what I hear often. Preoccupation with entertainers. I want to fix myself like Nicki Minaj. I want to be like Beyonce. I want to be like Taylor Swift. And never seeing anything inside yourself. Those are some red flags that we can look at with anxiety.
So I guess my thing is that back in the day, I mean, I didn't have social anxiety, but I wanted to be Janet Jackson. Like I had the earring with the key, the album cover with the big curly hair and Janet Jackson. Like I wanted to be that. So you have moms like myself that would that. I don't consider myself a helicopter mom, but I do consider myself a worry ward. Like I worry about my children. Any sort of change in behavior, I'm like, oh, something's happening. What's going on? And I'm all hovering over her. Do you think that there is some sort of, do you think that that if you see your child not only saying that they want to look like Nicki Minaj, but that they're starting to take steps to do that, like hair or what is it? What is it about something like a child just saying like I'm infatuated with Nicki Minaj versus it being something that's necessarily a trigger point or a moment to get concerned?
Well, it depends on the child. Each individual is different. As a child, I was very shy. So that's why social media is like scary to me because I just couldn't imagine it. I think I would have social anxiety. When someone is preoccupied with someone else and can find nothing in themselves, you could say it's a difference between saying, I like Nicki Minaj's style versus I want to be her. Well, what about being you? What if you want to be a female rapper that has a certain style, a certain way about doing things, and I want to wear pink hair or green hair or yellow hair, but I'm Alaina, the rapper, with green hair, pink hair. Not necessarily that the only way I'm going to get the attention that I deserve if I become Nicki Minaj. We living in a society where plastic surgery is very, very prevalent. And, teenagers are already getting plastic surgery. Their bodies are not even finished developing, and they're already going in under the knife. So, it's almost like we kind of authorize, okay, well, come on, baby, if you're not happy with that, no matter what you do, and that's probably one of the concerns with entertainers, there's nothing that you can do that can make everyone happy. It's really nothing that we can do. So we start with self-care.
I think that also what you were just talking about was I blame the parents on that one. And the reason why is that I believe that the parents should be instilling these ethics. I mean, these fundamental things that I feel like are important to the kids. I mean, if you think about it, what you were just saying, walking in your truth. If I want to be Alaina the rapper with green hair, your parents should probably encourage you to be your own self. And when you don't authorize these things for your children, instead you allow for other people to come in and basically pour into you, I feel like that makes a really big difference too. And so I wonder how many parents, I mean, I'm not a mom right now, but I wonder how many parents are consistently pumping into their kids, you're awesome, you're beautiful, you're amazing, you do great things. This is slightly off the subject, but I don't know if you guys saw the Procter and Gamble post about the racism, like my black is beautiful, and how like these kids are having these conversations with their parents. And the first one was where I guess the lady at the store back in the 50s was saying something to the child, and she's like, that's not a compliment. And then she started to tell her child all these great things about her. I really feel like the parents, to have these kids not deal with as much anxiety, should really have these conversations and pour into their children all those things that they're looking for in other places.
And I 100% agree with you. I do think that some of it does fall onto the parent, but I also think that parents are having a little bit of anxiety these days as well, dealing with social media, dealing with stresses at work, dealing with some things that they're dealing with as well, whether it's a higher increase of single parent household or mixed. Like I'm a blended family, so like I have so many things going on. It's like, ooh, do I? And that's not good. But do I have the time to like invest in one of my 3 children? Am I missing something because I'm so busy? I'm working 12-hour days. I get home. My child has been home 3-4 hours by themselves or whatever. Like, am I missing something by the time I get home? So I'm just wondering, is it like our lifestyles in America especially are so go, 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 go? How much can you get done in a day? I'll sleep when I'm dead type mentality. And so I'm not saying that it's not that it's right. I just wonder if it's parents these days are so busy that we're missing stuff in our own children because we are dealing with crap, too much crap.
Well, and then what do you recommend to that? Because I mean, the child is something that's formative, right? And so I completely understand what you're saying. So how do you balance that? Because the kid isn't somebody that chose to be here, right? And so it's our responsibility to make sure that we're developing productive and well-rounded people. And so I completely could understand. I mean, you're a very busy woman, and I can completely understand that a lot of people probably are. What do you recommend to balance that? Because and then what my mother used to always tell me is that I'm gonna tell you everything that you need here at this house, because when you get out here into these streets with these people, no one else is going to make you feel a certain kind of way, or any question that you had in my household didn't get answered. So I'm curious, what are the recommendations about that?
Well, I do believe that starting to teach children self love at an early age is very important. You mentioned that earlier, and that's right. Small statements. You did a great job. Oh my gosh. Well, I know my mom might kill me right now. She heard me saying this, but when I was little, when I was very shy, she would often just say, "Oh, that's just the way she is." And so when she would say that's just the way she is, it would just cause me to kind of clam up more because I thought I would be judged more if I would go out and do something or say something and it wouldn't be correct, or someone would say something, whatever I formulated in my brain. So small things at an early age, saying yay, great job, because as parents sometimes we get caught up at discipline and trying to raise our children the right way. But hearing, actively listening to what they have to say and knowing that their struggles are different. Going back to my little lady I'm using from Thursday, she came into the office, and before I even met her, the parents minimized a lot of things that she was going through. She's like repeating the ninth grade. She doesn't like to go to school. She ran away like 3 times. I know this is like kind of major, but there are people who ignore this. She ran away 3 times. And I mean, her arm was just cut up like chopper style, just cuts everywhere. And so her parents were like, "Oh, don't worry about that. If she wanted to kill herself, she would have done it already." I mean, this is like normal dialogue.
And that's a
And
quote, like the parents
Wow,
said
that
it.
is
direct,
horrible.
direct, direct.
Oh
This was
my
Thursday. So
God.
I'm going to talk to the young lady. So she's already formulated all of these negative thoughts about getting better. Well, I've already went to 2 therapists. I didn't like them. They judged me. Well, it's probably what the parents were thinking because they were preoccupied already. They gave me like a rundown of their history and like, well, people just don't understand us. So she's taking on all of that, but doesn't know how to actually articulate herself in a way to get help. So the parents ignoring all of this, and she's constantly saying, so I'm like, do you want to go to school? She was like, no, I just like standing in my room, going on Snapchat, Instagram, and, interacting like that. But I'm like, how is that true? You have pink highlights, and they were beautiful. Pink highlights, her makeup was to perfection, and she had on a cute outfit. So I'm like, how someone who wakes up and put that much effort into themselves every morning just want to sit in their room like a stalker looking out of the window.
Right.
And so she was like, well, I guess you made a point. And so at that point, she was able to start, dialoguing about more why she didn't want to do it. But like you said, her parents, that line
And
did
you broke
not.
the ice by being warm to her though. Like you broke the ice by again pouring back into what I was just saying. You highlighted that she was a beautiful girl, that she had pretty makeup on, that she had hair. And a lot of times it's those simple things that I feel like people miss. And that's how anxiety kind of, I don't know, I gets developed.
Well, and I think the biggest thing for, I mean, me and I'm speaking from my household. So Avery hears every day from me that she's beautiful, like every day. I call her beautiful. Like I'm like, hey, beautiful, can you give me this? Hey, like, so she hears from me, my husband. I'm certain her father, how beautiful she is. Right. She talked to us yesterday about she went to her sixth grade orientation. And she talked to us about how some of the eighth graders who were the leaders were asking them if they had social media. Now, Avery asked me about 3 weeks ago, can she have social media? And I told, no, she said, when can I have social media? And I told her never. Like, that was my answer. And she was like, no, Mom, really. I was like, no, never. The answer as of right now is never. And she's like, well, Mom, I'm going to need it because, but and she had all these like bullet points on why she felt like she needed it. And I said, Avery, I'm sorry that you may feel like I'm being, crude, prude, whatever. However, the answer's still no, because I don't believe it's needed. I feel like you have, it's way too much distraction. It distracts adults that got stuff to do. Like, I have shit to do that I don't do because I'm on Instagram. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta bathe my son, but I've been sitting on the couch for 45 minutes scrolling through Instagram. So I'm like, it's a waste of time. And I don't want part of her time management right now to be consumed with how many likes she's getting, how many friends, how many followers she has. And I don't want her self-worth or value to be tied to social media. However, so many parents allow their children to have social media, et cetera, et cetera. And then Avery tells me this big, huge story. And once again, don't know if it's any truth to it, but I have to believe her, about how yesterday they were telling her about this game that's played at their school. Well, played not on the school, but played through social media, that's like Pokemon cards, but the people are naked.
Yes.
Have you heard of that?
Yes.
What are y'all? What are these kids on
Yes.
right now? What?
Yes. And I think going back to what you said,
Don't
going
space.
back to what you said about the social media, my children are a little younger. One is 6 and one is 9. My 6-year-old is like, oh my goodness, like a Beyonce in the making.
She
She's
is.
oh my goodness. But
She is.
my 9-year-old, polar opposite. She will cry at the drop of a dime. She has anxiety, as a
Okay.
matter of fact. I have to go eat lunch with her weekly, and if I don't come, she's standing at the door holding her lunch, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And I know as a parent, I'm doing everything I can to try to help her. And like, if I'm looking at Instagram, my 6-year-old was like, take a picture of me and let me see how many likes I get. I know I'm going to get a like. And my oldest one is like, I don't know if anybody's going to like my picture. But they know that it's something that's going to have, that they're going to have to deal with. I think more education. I think if they do have social media, of course we have, especially when you're going into middle school, because if they're in band or if they're in choir, a lot of the announcements are through social media. You have to join the group, the Facebook group or the Instagram group to, okay, practice council Thursday, it's raining. So they have to know that. But at that time, they go into, other pages. But I think if we just shut it down and say, no, 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 and we don't say, you know what, let's look at Instagram. Why don't you like these types of people? Do you like painting? Okay, let's go find all the painters. Maybe you can, not the naked painters, but the painters. Well, let's find those painters. Do you like to cook? Okay, well, let's look up people who like to cook. Now, let me tell you about, they're going to have some creepy creepos that might come inbox you and hit you up on the DM. That's when you come get mommy, and then I can help you.
I'm just not ready for it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not ready. And they talked about it with us when parent orientation yesterday about like social media, and it's up to us. But you're right, how they communicate a lot through social media. Extracurriculars and practices and the group chats and I'm like, what happened? I did all that in high school. I didn't need social media.
Okay,
for it.
what would you do if she snuck and opened up a social media page and you knew nothing about it because you wouldn't give her the authorization?
Well,
That's a good question, because you guys also showed in the article of different apps that people are doing to hide and stuff like that. So that's,
yes. So like,
you're gonna,
part of your information that you gave me was these 12 apps that every parent of a teen should know about. It's on Huffington Post. And so I haven't done the research yet. I need to go ahead and just pull them up and just download them onto my phone, because I think that maybe that would be where we would start. However, if she went behind my back, I mean, the first thing is the idea of her feeling like in some way she has to betray what I'm asking her, and that she doesn't trust her mother enough to guide her down the right path, right?
right.
So that would be a discussion that I would feel like, okay, what made you feel like I'm so wrong that you had to do this? Like, what are the reasons for it? Now, of course, in the meantime, she's grounded and all those other, things that you do to teenagers. But that has to have a conversation because that is so manipulative and sneaky in and of itself. You know what I
Okay,
mean?
well, what if she tell you that the reason I opened this page without your permission because I have a phone? You constantly told me no. Every single one, all my friends have one. I'm starting to be teased because I don't have social media. People are making fun of me because they can't go on Snapchat and say hi. And Mom, you've taught me a lot of great things. So why don't
Sure.
you trust me?
Sure, and if she's mature enough to be able to say something like that, because when she did ask me for social media 3 weeks ago, I was like, why? She was like, well, my friends have it. I was like, well, what friends?
Exactly. That's
And
a good question.
Right, that was my
That's a
first
good
question
question.
was what friends? And she was like, and I was like, no, none of your friends have them. So and then she was like, well, what about email? I was like, who has an email? Like, I'm just asking because if you know somebody that you're going to be emailing or expecting an email from, then we could talk about an email. We can talk about social media. But you don't know anybody. You just want to be the one that says, "Ooh, I have Instagram. I have social media. I have an email." Like, all that's cute. I get it, and I will not be that staunch of a mother to be like, nope, never, you won't ever, 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 ever get Instagram, ever, over my
Never
dead
ever.
body,
Never ever.
ever, Snapchat out. But I do think that if there becomes a point where I am around, especially because I'm the mom that, like, I do consider myself a cool mom. Thanks.
No Snapchat.
No, but right. If I'm in a group of these girls and they're all on Snapchat, and I trust their moms and I trust the families, then I'm going to eventually have to be like, okay, well then I guess you're getting Snapchat, right? Like I'm not going to be the only one out of her group of friends that doesn't have it, and I tend to be the mom that has a lot of conversations with other parents of my child's friends. Like, when did you get her cell phone? When do they have social media? Do they have emails? Like, I'm asking these questions actively so that I know that my child is not the only one in the group.
And that's a great response because you know your child. If I had to make a choice, my younger one, I can get her one earlier because I'm going to police it.
Right.
But I feel that she wants it so bad she would be responsible. But my older one, never.
Never.
I
Well, and
will
you
be
guys
that
are
mom.
definitely talking about some of the things about why we wouldn't have social media at a young age. But let's talk a little bit more about the social anxiety. I see that she's got a card though, so let me stop before I ask my
Do you see my?
question.
You see me? You see me? Okay. Well, before we go into some other elements of this kind of social anxiety, we're gonna pause just for a second to talk about this portion of the show being sponsored by Three Hues. Come paint, sip, and party at Three Hues. Join a party or book your own private event for kids or adults. Let Three Hues help you create your masterpiece on canvas step by step. A painting party is perfect for any occasion. A church function, wedding showers, team building, Girl Scouts earning their badge, date night, birthdays, or anytime you just want to have fun. Ask them about their summer camp programs, kids clubs, special events, and wine glass painting events. Did we mention that Three Hues is mobile too? Yes, you can go to the studio or they can come to you. Visit their website today, 3hueshouston.com.
So I guess the question I was asking was that we're talking about social media and how it impacts whether you want to have your child on it or not. But from a social anxiety standpoint, could we first even talk about that? What is social anxiety? How do people even have social anxiety? And I know one of my friends whose ex-boyfriend had it so bad that we'd be in the club and I'd be like, there he go with his social anxiety. So please let us know. You don't invite him out anymore because he's over there being not so fun.
The
All right.
definition of social anxiety is just having the fear of being around people, being in public places, fear of authority, fear of being asked questions, fears of being judged. Bringing up this negative conscious thought that someone is talking about you, someone is doing something to you that becomes very unhealthy and unnatural. And most of the time, it's thoughts that you formulated in your head that leads to avoidance. So a lot of times, if you do have social anxiety and you don't really know how to deal with it or how to interact with people, you just eventually start to isolate yourself. And like we say, we live in a society, like you said, where you can do that. You can date online. You can eat your food without leaving the home. You can have Uber treats bring you donuts to your house. I was at Cinnabon the other day, and I saw Uber bring Cinnabons to your home. I was like, oh my
Wow, that is
goodness.
like not what
You
I need to
can
know about my life.
Don't
because
tell
Cinnabon
Simone
is
that.
also
Don't
vegan.
do it.
You
It
could
is
be
also
popular.
vegetarian.
You could do all of these things without leaving your home. So social anxiety is just the constant fear that you will be judged, and
Do you also think that that's why dating apps are like so like hot because people don't have to really socialize; they can do it from their text
you
messaging
could
and
be
things like.
whoever you want to from via text message. You could be whoever. I am Ibris. Idris, how do you pronounce his name?
Idris?
Idris, yes.
Girl,
I am
how you messed
Idris.
that one up?
I know. I'm just thinking about the look, not the name. So you could think that, or you could be Nick Lopez.
One time for Nick Lopez. That's my boy. I love him. We love you.
You could be whoever behind that app. And then a lot of times, almost like on Catfish, you could keep going and going and going until you have to present yourself. So, yes, I think that's why online dating can be so popular. Talking to a lot of single ladies, what they meet, what they see online, and what they see in person.
Two different things. Huh?
Yes.
Catfish.
So how do you treat it? Like with people who have social anxiety.
I would say facing the issue. A lot of times, like I said, that's one of the reasons why it's becoming so prevalent, and I think that's why it's becoming like the third mental health concern in the United States after depression and alcoholism, because you don't have to treat it. Back in the day, like you said, you couldn't really live your life at home in your room via social media or Uber Eats. You had to actually go out. You couldn't meet your date. You couldn't meet your husband or your wife online. You had to actually go to the club, to church, wherever you're going to meet that person, to work, and find that person and meet them. So I think one thing is just addressing it. If you realize that, okay, you know what, I've been in the house 3 days in a row. It's time for me to get out. Facing it. Also another thing is like cognitive restructuring, basically changing the way that you think. Let's see how I can look at this situation different. I need to make a speech. I need to go on a job interview, because if you have social anxiety, you have a fear of being judged, especially someone that you feel is more important than you. So if I go to the job interview and they don't like me, then I'll never get another job. So like I say, jumping into it. Another thing, like for teens and younger people, volunteer. If your child is saying, I don't like anything, none of the activities that you're willing to pay money for, that they're not interested in, find a volunteer spot for them to go to. Find something. Also, getting them out of their room. I don't know if anybody's been looking at homes lately, but I've noticed that a lot of the bedrooms, it seem like they're getting smaller and smaller.
They are.
But the living areas are larger. I think that's, hey, get out the rooms. You don't live in
That's
your room. You sleep there. Go to the family room. Go to the game room. Go in this nice patio. Hang out in these grand kitchens that you see in the homes. Those areas are nice, but the rooms are small. So just trying to, and also time management, like Ms. Baptiste said, Dr. Baptiste said that, I'm going to be the helicopter mom. I think to a certain point, till you know that you can trust the child, you might have to be. That's just the way it is. There's a lot of creepos. Kids go online right now and they're like, I don't like my mom. And then you can get some person say, well, meet me at the corner, and I can find a better life for you that's outside of your mom. So, time management, taking the phone. So if she does have the phone, take it away for a certain amount of time instead of just saying you can sit on the phone till 3:00 in the morning.
Right. One, and so my husband and I agree that we felt like she really didn't need a phone. But my ex-husband decided, it was fine because we had several conversations about it, that this summer she got her first phone. So that's where all the social media and all these emails and stuff conversations come up, because she is getting bored with just a phone. Like, it's just a phone. Like YouTube, you're going to watch so many things, games. She's not really a big gamer. So she's like, well, I know my mom doesn't play a lot of games. She's on social media a lot. So that's another place where it's coming from. However, the summer's, of course, a little bit more lenient. But, like, by 8:30, let me catch that phone. Like, you don't need to be on the phone that late. Like, there's nobody up, like, whatever. And in the summer, in the school time, it's going to be interesting to kind of see how we manage this piece, because I do trust my daughter. I do believe that she will be able to make good decisions. I have prayed over my baby and over her friends, and hopefully the Holy Spirit guides her and guides the right people into her life. However, for the minions that come through, I need to be that mom that can kind of pick and choose where I need to jump in. You know what I mean? And so for me, you know, the 12 apps, and I would love to kind of get back to what apps should we be looking for. If you could just run through the list and let me know if there's anything that, like, you heard of or you've seen or whatever. There's Audio Manager.
I haven't really heard much about Audio Manager, but I'm starting to hear more about the calculator percent. I was at a workshop.
Oh my God, that calculator percent was crazy.
Yes, I went to a workshop. I didn't know anything about it because, you know, sometimes the kids, a lot of times teens are very open doing therapy sessions, but a lot of times they might kind of, you know, keep the good information on the low because they think I'm like the reporter.
Okay.
But if I find out about something and ask them, then they'll be like, yeah, that's true. But the calculator, you know, you can hide photos. One of the things that a lot of girls are doing is just very disturbing. You know, taking those selfies in their sports bra.
Or naked.
In their underwear, bikini, and saving it behind a calculator percent. You know, or with Snapchat. I'm not a big social media. I try for business purposes, but it's just not my thing. But I noticed that, like, with Snapchat, a lot of kids are just like taking photos and you can delete it.
It's only on there for 24 hours.
Yes.
So it doesn't last long.
So by the time mom finds out, the picture is gone. It's in cyberspace somewhere. You know, and another thing that happens with those things is just like, you know, like you say, first kiss, first even sexual experience can be broadcast on Instagram by somebody or Snapchat, and then it goes away in 24 hours, but it's still in cyberspace. And a lot of tech-savvy teens can know how to go back and find that and retrieve that information. So I would say calculator percent, you know, kind of monitoring that Snapchat, because Snapchat is so popular.
Yes, Snapchat is very popular, and the thing about Snapchat, and that's the one thing that I do not like about it, is that the thing is that it goes away. But the reality of it is that people can screenshot stuff, and you can do all of that. So even though that picture is gone off of your child's Snapchat feed, it's been screenshot by X amount of people, and your baby is put out there like that, you know. And that's what it just makes me crazy. And so then there's a burn note that is a messaging app that erases messages after a set period of time. So this is only for text messages, not for phones or not for videos or pictures. Omegle provides users with a chance to converse online with random strangers. I'm sorry. What? What you talk to a random stranger?
Like, I'm so lost.
Right, like Simone just scratched her head. Like, I'm sorry. What?
Like, what? Why?
Why we need to talk to a random stranger? And I think that in some of these cases that I try to keep an open door policy at my house where my child feels like you can talk to me about anything, right? It's a safe zone. Your mom and your parents are your safe zones. They should be. But in something like this, a kid goes there because maybe they want to share with someone who they don't feel like is going to judge them. You know what I mean? Because they're having anxiety about talking to their mom and their parents. Girl, they got Tinder on here.
That dating app.
Wait a minute. If I see Tinder,
as a single person, even I know Tinder is not something that I should be on. Okay, like even I know that. I am not about that life, and neither should your daughter or son. Right,
life. Tinder's only for those who are really about that life. Okay, so your daughter or son should not be.
No, at all.
And then there's Blender that you can use. There's 300 million users to meet new people through GPS location services, which I think is crazy because that means that somebody knows where my baby is, and I'm like, never. Like, no, that's not okay.
My child would have one of them still flip phones. Like, I don't even want you to have a smartphone. Like, get one of these bad boys.
And your baby getting made fun of, okay? Your baby getting made fun of.
Yeah, like you just get one of these little Go phones, and it's just like that's it.
Your
This
baby
is
having a
freaking
burner
me
phone is
out.
getting made fun of at school.
Even.
Your baby having a burner is getting made fun of. Just so
Yeah.
you know.
Yes.
Let me
Social
open my phone and
anxiety.
make this call real
Right,
quick.
right. Where you gotta like click through RST, like
Oh
you gotta.
God! You won't text. You just give up. Never mind. That's a good idea. That's a good way to stop it. It's just too much work in this texting. But back in the day, on that BlackBerry.
Oh my gosh. And you know what? There was another thing that I had as a solution for you, Ashandra, too, that I saw in the article where they had this little box when you walk into your house and everybody has to put their phone in it at a certain time.
Oh
So of course
yes.
it's everybody to be in family time. And then you and your husband, y'all don't have to follow the rules after a certain period of time, but you know that everybody in the family knows when you walk in the door, you check that phone at the door. So then you
Yeah.
don't have to worry about these kids texting at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning
Could
to
you
your
do that?
phone.
Right. And what most of my friends do and what I do now is Avery charges her phone next to my phone at night.
Oh,
So
okay. That's
her
smart.
bed, my phone, and her phone are on top of each other, get charging at the same time. Because I'm like, you must really want something to come into my room at X amount of time to grab your phone.
True.
Like, and the other rule that we put on her was like, there's no locked apps, there's no missing.
Yes.
Like all passwords and stuff are are like passwords that you share with me. If I go into an app and I can't get in it because you put a fingerprint on it or something, then I'm just going to delete the app. Like you don't get to have like privacy in that element because you can't be on whatever this one with the blender getting hunted down. Got somebody coming to my house looking for you. Then I got
Or
to go to
talking
jail
to
'cause I
random
killed somebody.
strangers. What is that?
The random
Like,
people.
I still don't get that
Random
one.
people, strangers, girl, strangers. So
That's crazy. That's crazy.
there's a story that came out over this week about this young girl named Madison Holleran of the University of Pennsylvania. She was a track star that committed suicide in 2014. The thing about it was that her social media presented like this perfect life. Like the morning that she jumped off of a building, she presented a picture of herself like gorgeous, a beautiful day. She had all these things, and one of the things that has come from this is the discussion about social media not presenting real life. Like everybody on social media, you got people holding money to their ear these days and all these things that aren't real. But this young lady, based off her social media, you would have never known that she was miserable, that she was actually dealing with social anxiety and depression. She had once again, great life on paper, great life on social media, but she was absolutely unhappy. And so the thing is that our children do not know that's why children stay children for so long, because their blurring of the lines between fantasy and real life are they're still so blurred. So for them, when they see something and someone posting pictures and they doing duck lips and all this other stuff, they're like, oh, well, that's real. They're posting themselves happy and hanging out. That's real. They don't know the difference yet. And so what do you feel like would be a solution to some of these parents that are dealing with these kids that, are addicted to social media, are hiding in their rooms, what would you suggest? Of course, besides coming to see you.
Well,
She is accepting new clients.
well, I'm glad you brought that up because, as a therapist, you're often retroactive. You are very retro. We're kind of like going into the past, trying to catch up. I think that I would like to be proactive, and parents can be proactive by actively listening. If you see something that's not right, don't just go by your child's word. Oh, everything is okay. Well, I see you in your room more than normal, or I see you on social media. Like, could you share some of your content with me, or something like that? You all both made a great point earlier that everyone is busy. What's the reality that you really just go check your child's phone all the time, checking it every day, checking it the way that you should, especially if you are this millennial mom, just have a whole lot of things going on. That's one of so children are able to hide, and that's the biggest problem I see in therapy sessions is that parents don't really know what's going on. Often you can say, come on and sit down, Mom, let's talk about this. That's her problems, let her handle it. So I'm just saying being proactive, recognizing the sign. If your child say I'm sad, actually listen, because you may have your child together, but these friends like Dr. Betty said, I want to know who your friends are, because everybody's not parenting the same. And unfortunately, our children pick up some of the behaviors from their friends at school or people that's on social media. So I would just say pay attention to the warnings, actively listen, ask questions,
Well,
and get them out the room.
Well, right, and I'm hoping that everybody hears this, because these are things that are affecting our children as we speak. And I just want to thank Alaina for coming and sharing this information. Once again, I always feel like our shows are way too short for this type of stuff, because I know you have story after story, scenario after scenario. Of of people and situations that need to be discussed. So I want to thank you. If you could please, you know what? Let's talk about people who also have a business, because I'm gonna let Alaina give her information so you guys can find her. But if you have a business, this portion of the show is actually sponsored by the Sphere. And if you're starting a business and looking for a place to advertise, do you need to reach out to thousands of people across the world to build your brand or sell your product? If so, get your product placement and advertising needs handled right here at the Sphere. We offer a wide variety of content delivering platforms, including iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, and Stitcher. Plus, we have a vast demographic reach within the United States as well as modern countries across the globe. Our enriched content and inspiring dialogue, coupled with your strategic ad, is surely to hit the mark every time. Call us today at area code 832-772-7789 or send an email over to advertise@thesphere.tv. And so, Lana, can you please let anyone out there know where they can find you, contact information, and all of that?
Okay, once again, www.hearttoheartservices.org, or email Alaina at hearttoheartservices.org, and on Instagram at Alaina Heart to Heart.
Thank you so much, Simone. I know you got to catch a plane, so go ahead and give us a shout out.
Yes, guys. So of course you can find me on social media at Simone Ellis on Facebook or Dr. Simone Ellis on Instagram. And of course, my beautiful practice, Smile Design Studio, is located at 6130 Highway 6, Missouri City, Texas. Please call us if you need any dental needs. And I learned so much from you today, Ms. Lopez. Thank you so much for being on the show. I wish I would have got a chance to meet you in person, but thank you for enlightening me and making me feel like I'm a better person to know how to talk to people about anxiety. Thank you.
Well, of course, I thank you again. Like I said, I've known Alaina for a long time. She is a wonderful patient at my practice. So, nice little segue. If you like to come in and see me, you see, we have beautiful souls and spirits at my practice. So, I am Dr. Ashandra Batiste. You can find me at my practice, which is Elite Dental Wellness, which is now located on the corner of Westheimer and Fondren, 8821 Westheimer Road. You can call the office at 713-789-8680. Or if you just want to follow me, laugh, and do all those wonderful things on social media, because I am an adult, you can follow me at hotdog.com on Instagram, or Chandra Batiste on all other social media platforms. We thank you so much for your support, your love. Please share us and subscribe, and hang out with us again next week. Thank you so much. Peace out.
Bye, guys.